With that said, we're going to move on to item 6, electing of the chair and vice chair. I'm going to let Nathan go over the procedure. And are you going to give us the news that we're losing or gaining?
Yeah, very unfortunate news. See, I do
sad and happy.
Sad and happy at the same time. Sorry, Tom, I think I just need you to stop ending your screen share.
I know, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I'm in a mode here. Oh, there it is, stop. Okay, sorry, Nathan.
All right, there we go, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you, Chair Gokin. Again, Nathan Schmidt, Transportation Planning and Mobility Manager. This item is to elect a new Traffic and Mobility Commission Chair and Vice Chair. So, of course, the recommended action is to elect a new Chair and Vice Chair. So here is the current commission roster. As Chair Gokin was alluding to, we will be losing one commissioner. Johnny Johnson has decided not to extend her term for another term. So just so you know, and as we're considering the vote, Commissioner Johnson has decided not to continue. So we do thank her very much for her service. She's done a great job and been a great service to the community of Carlsbad. So with that sad news, we will consider everybody else for the chair position.
Did Mona get reelected or reappointed?
We are considering that item. So that's the intent is to vote.
No, not as chair. Did she get reappointed to the commission? Her term is up also.
Right.
Unless she gets reappointed to the commission, it doesn't continue. I saw the city announcement saying there was 2 openings on the commission and that they were taking applications. So
yes, so Chair Gokin has submitted her application,
okay,
and that will be considered. And I apologize, I forget the date, but the application window, I believe, closes next week, and then it would be forwarded to City Council for final approval on that. But Chair Gokin has submitted.
June 26th.
Thank you, Bud. So just quickly, the power and duties of the commission chair. The chairperson of the commissions shall be the presiding officer at all meetings of the Traffic and Mobility Commission. The chairperson may move, second debate, and vote from the chair, and the chairperson shall not be deprived of any rights and privileges of a commissioner by reason of an acting chairperson. So those are the powers and duties. And with that, the recommended action is to elect a new chair, Traffic and Mobility Commission chair and vice chair.
Okay, so how does the process go, and who, is there like a qualification, who can be nominated, or how does the process go? Do you know? If we have Doug is more.
Yeah, or if we have, sorry, is Robbie still available?
I think Robbie's available, but I think that's really up to the chair. And I actually, sorry, I was off for a bit. Did you also mention that the chair and vice chair, actually not the vice chair, but the chair is also available for the chair position again? So it's basically like an open nomination at this point. But that's for the chair and the commission to really lead that discussion on who they'd like to nominate, and have those discussions and deliberation, and then make your motion.
Yeah, I think the question that was posed earlier was because of the expiration and because Chair Gokin's term has not been extended yet, even though the application process is there, whether or not she would be eligible at this moment in time. So I think maybe if Robbie Contreras could chime in. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I looked into this matter before the meeting. I spoke to folks in the city attorney's office. You know, we're looking at the boards and commissions term 2.15.060 in the municipal code. And we're also looking at 2.15.080, chair and vice chair section of the code as well. So what I was told and what I found out is that on the Planning Commission, for example, if let's say a chair or vice chair were on the finishing end of their second term, the reappointed term, then the advice from our office is that that commissioner could not stand for election for or re-election for chair or vice chair. In this instance, I did speak with Sheila in the city clerk's office, and since the chair currently has submitted an application for reappointment, I took a look at these sections that I just mentioned, and there's nothing in the ordinance that prohibits a commissioner from seeking another election as chair. However, the big question, which we all are aware, is we don't know what the city council is going to do. So my advice to the commission today is, if the current chair seeks nomination for another year term, her term still runs as of this meeting. The worst case scenario is that if the chair is not reappointed to the commission may have to revisit this decision of who the chair would be if there's no reappointment. So at this time, I'll leave that with the commission and allow the commission to digest and speak further.
Okay. Commissioners' thoughts or comments? Okay, Commissioner Linke.
So I'm willing to serve in either role if people want me to, but I'm also realize I'm a junior member and I absolutely have no problem sitting at the end of the bench and being the troublemaker down there. So I support anybody that's on the commission right now. I'm willing to support, including Chair Gokin continuing. So anyway, I just wanted to say I'm willing to do it if anybody wants, but no problem if not.
Thank you, Commissioner Linke. Actually, I do feel that commissioners actually have way more power than the chair, and Commissioner Hunter knows that. That's why he's laughing. So I'm going to go to you next, Commissioner Hunter. I see Commissioner Perez was second.
Yeah, I'll just second Steve's comments. I'm willing to serve in whatever is required. Obviously, I've done the chairmanship before, so for some of those that saw me and didn't see me, I'm happy to do it again if we need it. I'm also happy to be the troublemaker a couple seats away from the chairman and keep everybody in line on Robert's Rules of Order and stuff. So.
Okay, Commissioner Perez. You're freezing. Okay, we're gonna go back to you. I'm gonna get Commissioner Pensier and then Commissioner Fowler's comments. Commissioner Pensier, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I am not interested in either one of those positions. I would like to sit here and be a troublemaker and promote my cycling and pedestrian agenda. But I could support either one of the two gentlemen that have already spoken that they would serve in that position. I would also support the current chair for another year.
Thank you, Commissioner Pensier. Commissioner Fowler, your comments?
Actually, I don't have, for practical reasons, I have no interest. I just wanted to point out, I don't think we operate under Robert's rules, by the way. I think there's another set of rules that we operate under. That was
There is. It's Robertson's rules, but it's about the same. It's just a shorter version.
Mr. Contreras is trying to tell us something, but he's on mute.
There we go. No, I was just gathering my thoughts there before I pressed unmute. 1.20.130 of our municipal code outlines the general rules of procedure. I haven't had the opportunity to confirm whether those really are Roberts, so I'll go with that for the moment, because They don't appear to be Rosenbergs, which is what I'm accustomed to. But I would direct everyone's attention to that section of our municipal code.
So, somehow I've saw that as a reference in official rules, so you might look into that. That was my impression, that it was, and I'm not even familiar with it either, so.
We were given Rosenberg's rules, actually by the city clerk, so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I'll just be honest with the commission. That's one of my first comments. I see that, the 1.20.130 supersedes, that's an ordinance that governs city council meetings and also board and commission meetings. But there's no reference to Rosenbergs. So part of the learning curve for me is to try and understand all this, but it seems that there haven't been major issues in the 1.5 meetings that I've been on with respect to issues with motions and substitute motions, and hopefully it stays that way.
Thank you, Mr. Contreras. Commissioner Perez.
Yeah, can everyone hear me?
Now we can.
Thank you. I just wanted to comment that I'm on the far left of the all the chairs, so just wanted to point that out, Commissioner Lanke. But in seriousness, I just wanted to confirm. So the applications for commissioners on the traffic and mobility is it due by the 26th?
Nathan or Roberto?
I'd have to defer to staff on that. I was told one of the 2 July meetings is, I was understanding that would be the meeting when city council would consider reappointments. Can someone else tell me which of the July meetings that would be?
Yeah, I do have that. I may need just a moment to look that up. So if you do have other questions, maybe just give me a minute here.
Yeah, and then just the last thing is, again, I'm in support for Chair Gokin for to continue as chair, but also too if the commission needs me for vice chair, I am open for that. So just to let it know. But what I was just trying to get with that application for the 26th, I just wanted to make sure if that was going to be the actual city council voting or if it's going to be at a later time in July. I'm just trying to understand the timing, so that as Mr. Contreras. Yeah.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from the city clerk. So the deadline applications is June 1st. And the finalists will be forwarded to council for consideration on June 23rd. So it's the June 23rd city council agenda meeting.
Okay, just a point of reference. I think like as Commissioner Hunter said that there is a lot of, I was gonna say traffic on the internet about this, the applications. And I do know that there's some links that are saying it's June 26th. So I just wanted to just clarify that. So thank you.
Hey, Commissioner Johnson, Vice Chair Johnson, what are your thoughts? Because you're still gonna be on a voting, even though sadly, you're not gonna be with us for another 4 years.
Well, I would highly recommend Mona to continue on her leadership that she's provided to the commission. She's done a great job, and I would support any of the other men that would want to be vice chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Okay, so now we are, does anyone wants to make a motion? This is always kind of awkward timing. Like I said, the one thing that I know for sure, and Commissioner Hunter knows that too, because of chairing, commissioners do have way more say. As chair, we can only chair, not have as much input or comments as the commissioners. So that's one thing that if you do plan on being active and doing research and advising staff in many ways, that's one thing that's plus and minus. But then in the same time, I'm happy either or. I will support anybody. I don't mind continuing. My only thought on that is that we're finally at a point that we have a great relationship and flow with staff and the commissioners. So to continue that, especially through this challenging times, I don't mind doing that for the next year, but in the same time, either or, I'm fine with it. So I don't know if somebody wants to make a motion.
No, I just want to make a comment on that. I love Mona as chair. She's been doing a great job and getting better all the time. I'm just worried where we're at with applications. I've seen it on other commissions and airport commission and things like that. The city council is getting overwhelmed with applications, and there's a lot of political stuff there. I won't mention any ones in particular. But a lot of people don't seem to get reappointed without a lot of political pull going on there. So I'm just concerned that we go into July and our chairman is no longer with us, and we have to go down a path and start a meeting without a chairman or a vice chairman, because Johnny's on her way out either. So I guess whoever we would elect as vice chairman could be the chairman until we do a vote again, and then it just sounds awful. Potentially confusing and problematic going forward. So I asked Mona, do you have a front lead in what's going on with the appointments? Because again, like I said, I've seen everybody, 20 plus people applying for these things now, and
I have no, I don't know anything. I have no political, nobody interviewed me. No, we haven't discussed. I was only asked to submit my application just like everybody else. I hope that the one comment that was made is because this is my first term, that it will be easier, and hopefully the council takes that in consideration, that to have this continuation, because it takes a while, even now, right? We all learn so much every day. That to keep 2 terms for the commissioner. So first term, it's a learning opportunity, and then second term, but again, I don't know, and I'm really excited to hear that a lot of people are interested in serving, and I hope is broader demographic, younger, older, because as you know, Commissioner Hunter, not that long ago, a few years ago, there were not that many people interested in serving. So I'm very excited either or. I don't know if Nathan or Roberto know more than I do, if they feel comfortable if I do get nominated, or either or. I know it's kind of, I'm wondering, maybe we could have done this a little bit earlier but we couldn't, right, with the timing of the application.
We pushed it to match and kept your leadership in place until then, because you're already at a year and a half or so, or more, which is good. But now we put it on the yearly re-election of all that too, and on the fiscal year with the city. So it all matches up nice. I'm just, again, I'm concerned. I just watched it, the politics. Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
No.
Brandon.
No, I didn't mean to. I guess the question I just have is should we? I'm just throwing this out to the commission. Should we move again on pausing this? And I'm trying to understand the timeline to pause this until the next meeting, when we will have a new. It seems like we're going to have a new commissioners on board, and then come with the vote on that, and then during the time, if there is a vacancy with Johnny and Gokin for some reason, then we would have I'm just trying to figure out if it would be better that we move it to do a vote in July.
Then you wouldn't have a chairman in July. So
we could have a pro term or pro.
Well, you're not going to elect the 2 new people anyway if they're not those 2. So.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing,
Yeah, if I could just weigh in briefly, I wanted to read over 2.15.080 of our municipal code, subsection C is in Charlie. Each board or commission may also appoint one of its members as a vice chair to serve in the place and stead of the chair during the chair's absence. I read that section to allow for one option, to be that a vice chair be, elected this evening. And then we wait to see whether, the reappointment takes place with the chair. And so that way, that's one way. But to your point, Commissioner Hunter, that's another option to kind of work our way through this situation.
And again, that's all assuming that if
Right.
we appointed, we want Mona to continue to be the chair, which is, I have nothing against that. As I said before, I think she's doing a great job. But there are other people here too. And the normal process is every year we used to step everybody one seat to the left, or one seat to the right, depending on whether you're stage
Where
right.
you're sitting, yeah.
Yeah, stage right or left, and then it kind of cycles through, giving everybody a chance and moving through. So we're kind of getting a little bit away from that, which again, we can set our own rules. So I'm not saying one way or another, just kind of putting some history in place here too. So
How do the other boards and commissions
I'd like
handle
to,
it? As far as I know, we were supposed to be on a system where the chair rotates every year, but like everyone else has said, I'm fine with Chair Gogan continuing. Are the other boards and commissions doing something about?
So Commissioner Linke, yes. So all boards and commissions are subjected to 0.15.080 in the municipal code. So that chapter relates to boards and commissions. And that section, the numbered section I just read, relates to chair and vice chair. So there, each board and commission shall appoint one of its members as a chair to serve for a term of 1 year. That's subpart A is an alpha of that section.
I just didn't know if there was some pattern that wasn't necessarily written down, but was sort of a policy or an unwritten sort of thing that.
What I just said was with most of the other commissions too.
Commissioner Pensier had a comment, and then I'm going to go to Commissioner Johnson. Yeah, Commissioner Pensier, please.
okay. Yeah, I'd just like to make a nomination and then just see what happens. So I would like to nominate Chair Gogan as for another year. She's done a great job, and take the risk that the city council will not remove her from the position next month. And if we're going to vote for both of these people at the same time, I would propose, well, let's see, should we do it one at a time, or should we just do, should we do them together? That's a question.
Should we do it one at a time or both?
I'll leave that to the pleasure of the commission, as the ordinances as I read them don't require that they voted on separately or together.
All right. Then I'll make a motion that Chair Gogan continue and that Commissioner Perez be the vice chair.
Okay. Do Commissioner Fowler, you have a comment, or you second that?
So nominations have to be, oh, that's a motion. I have a comment, but it's not regarding that, what he just said. So go ahead.
Okay. So do we go?
I'll second.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so Commissioner Pensier made a motion for me to continue as the chair and for Commissioner Perez as the vice chair, with Commissioner Linke seconding. Can we go for a vote?
Oh, wait.
Or
okay,
discussion.
let me understand what's happening here.
Okay.
So his motion was to obviate any other nominations for chair, correct?
His motion
And
was for
right.
me to continue.
So right, if we say yes, then there are no further nominations.
Not at this point, yes. If it gets voted after discussion, if it gets voted yes, then at this point, it will not be until next month if by any chance I will not be on the commission. If it doesn't passes, then somebody else is welcome to make a motion. Yeah, Commissioner Johnson, you have a comment?
I have a question. Is, to Mr. Contreras. If we elected only a vice chair now, and held off until the chair was confirmed in July. Is that an option? Or should we go together?
That is one option that I mentioned earlier, because
I want to disagree with you before you continue.
Okay.
Because your thing you said every year you will elect a chair and a vice chair. So by not electing the chair, you're not following the rules. Yes, it says you can elect a vice chair in order to compensate for it, but it also says you need to elect a chair and a vice chair.
yeah, and you know what, I stand corrected, Commissioner. Good point, because there's a shall in that ordinance, and every time I go back and advise on this, I always go back and read the ordinance. And you know, while it may be appealing, here it is, 215.080. Each board or commission shall appoint one of its members as the chair to serve for a term of 1 year. So, you know, I need to go back and revise my advice. We do have to have a chair. The original advice I provided was that we may have to revisit it if Chair Gokin is elected this evening as.
And so right now we have a motion with a second on the floor. Does anyone have any other comments or discussion before we go for a vote? Okay, I don't see anyone being interested in making any comments. Ellie, can we go for a vote?
Yes. Commissioner Perez,
I have to abstain on this one, right?
Yep.
You
No?
can vote.
No, you can vote for yourself.
Yay.
Commissioner Linky,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler.
Could you take me last?
Commissioner Pensiers,
Yes.
Vice Chair Johnson,
Oh, he skipped me.
Commissioner Hunter,
No.
Chair Gokin,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler.
No.
Okay, so I lost count.
It is 5-2.
Okay, so please note that it passed 5-2 for me to continue as the chair for another year and for Commissioner Perez to vice chair. Okay,